Hello, everyone, and welcome to another casual review. I was just thinking, it's been far too long since we've talked about one of the major pillars of entertainment, television. And I've been watching some okay, that's not true. I've been watching a lot of television, but it's always like reruns, just kind of comfort food, like Simpsons. We've been watching a lot of 30 Rock. So now that I watched a new show I've never seen before, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about our beloved TV. This series was recommended to us by one of Autumn's co-workers, so thank you very much, Tracy, for recommending it. Today I'll be talking about Over the Garden Wall by Cartoon Network, and we watched this on Hulu. If you're subscribing to Hulu, you get this for free, and it's just like a mini series. It's only 10 episodes long, and it's like each episode is only 12 minutes, I believe, so it's really just the length of a movie. If we're talking about like binging, like if we're using that food analogy, it's a very palatable, you don't feel stuffed after you binge watch everything because it's only like 2 hours long. Cartoon Network has really embraced its cartooniness. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like for a long time now, people who make cartoons just, they do like a normal sitcom-y premise, and then they add just like one gimmick. Like, this is just a family of people living together, but let's make them all animals. And then like everything else is more grounded in reality. And I feel like over the last decade or so, Cartoon Network has really tried to like say, hey, we're a cartoon, and we can do anything we want. Like, we can create an entire unique world if we wanted to. Like, why does everything have to be so grounded in reality? Especially, like, if you're gonna make a cartoon, you might as well go into that area of, like, not reality. Like, why not really dive into that? And the first example I can think of is, like, Adventure Time. I know they, like, really go out there. Steven Universe is another noteworthy one. So this definitely like goes into the area of weirdness and not reality. So the story basically starts out, I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything like that, but the story starts out with two brothers, an older high schoolish age boy, and then like a little cute little brother, and then they're just lost in the woods, and it doesn't go into any explanation about any backstory for a while. And so it just starts out, these boys are lost in the woods and they're trying to get home. And so each of these 10 episodes, they come across like a unique story. So it's kind of like their own little stories, but the whole like overarching plot is them trying to get home. Throughout these woods, there's a lot of like magical creatures, there's a lot of talking animals, there's like witches, there's pumpkins and things like that. Well, there's pumpkins in the regular world, but there's talking pumpkins. And so it's a very spooky season show, which is perfect for now. What do you mean it's too early for spooky season? It's never too early for spooky season. Don't you know we're in September? I bet by the time this goes on YouTube, it will be September, which is the perfect time for spooky season. So if you're wanting something a little creepy, spooky, then yeah, definitely take a look at this one. The older brother is voiced by my boyfriend, Elijah Wood. We're pretty close. I call him Eli for short, and he calls me Air. So we have a very tender and personal relationship. I wouldn't look too into it because he might deny it because he's a little embarrassed about it, but I digress. I've always really liked Elijah Wood. I really liked him in Wilfred, and Fellowship of the Ring is probably my favorite movie of all time, or at least it's up there. I want to say Fellowship of the Ring is top 3. And I've always liked Elijah Wood. We actually just watched Eternal Spotless. Oh shoot, I can't get the title right. I gotta look this up. Okay, so we actually just recently watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I always get that title mixed up. So and he was in that one too. He kind of plays more of like an antagonistic role in that one, but I've always liked Elijah Wood. And then you come across this like this old woodsman, and he's voiced by Christopher Lloyd. And I always like Doc Brown. Come on, you can't go wrong with Christopher Lloyd. I really like the unique design of the characters and the whole set of it all. Like I mentioned earlier, it takes place in like these spooky woods, The style and the narrative of it all, like the aesthetic, it all makes you, like, it looks cutesy, kind of innocent, but at the same time maybe bordering that edge of creepiness, like almost like you can never tell if anything is your friend or your foe. Like you never really know who to trust, and sometimes you're just like, oh, that guy's bad news, and then he ends up being like a really good guy, but your distrust of him like kind of keeps you from accepting his help, that kind of deal, you know? And I think the voice acting and just the whole feel of the show really dives into that friend or foe mentality. I was listening to the soundtrack while I was mowing the lawn right before this because I was anticipating talking about this casual review. It was a couple days since we finished it, so I just kind of wanted to refresh it in my mind, listen to the soundtrack, because it is a very musical show. I want to say in every episode there's like maybe 2 songs. They're very simple but catchy songs, and the music is pretty like ragtimey, very like Colombian era. I'm not sure if I got that. I'm not sure if I got that right. But it's a very, very ragtimey, kind of maybe jazzy a little bit, kind of like if you're. This is a really obscure reference, but like let's say you're at the New Orleans Square at Disneyland, and you know where you get like those band players coming along with their trumpets and maybe like a little bit of horn, maybe like a little bit of piano. You know, you see them playing that type of music, and a lot of that takes place in this show. And I kind of dig it. Like it's simple. They say the same couple lines over and over again, but it's catchy. And I actually enjoyed listening to the soundtrack while I was mowing the lawn. This show, it's kind of like a lot of Cartoon Network's newer shows where they appeal to, I can't really tell who their target audience is. I just want to reiterate, I would never make fun of someone for enjoying something that might not be targeted towards them. Like, if you want to play a game that is targeted towards children or watch a TV show or movie that's targeted towards children, I would never make fun of you because I consume that type of media all the time, and I don't even have like kids to have as an excuse of why I'm consuming it. But so there's a lot of maybe like a little bit of like childlike innocence to it, maybe a little wacky. Like it's the type of show that if you're watching growing up and your like blue collar work hard manly dad came home, he'd probably make fun of you for watching it. Like my dad was never like that, but I know those macho men like that, and they would just be like, what is this that you're watching? This is baby show, you know. I'm rambling a lot today. I apologize. One thing that I commend about it is there's actually a lot of character growth, and there's a lot of these character relations being builded upon. Like obviously the brothers are learning more about each other, and you come across this wide variety of interesting cast, and you're building these relationships with them, but you're not sure if you necessarily should, because you're never really sure anybody's intentions in the show. And it was just kind of a fun dynamic watching these characters grow. I guess it's kind of more unique for a TV show like this. If you're thinking more like a really well done movie, they're really good about diving into these character growths and relationships. But for a cartoon such as this, you don't really expect it. So it's always a nice surprise when it does happen. There's actually like some information that slowly gets revealed about characters' past as they go along, and you're like, whoa, what? Like that happened to you? I watched like 7 episodes with you in it, and this is the first time that you're kind of revealing it. We all have our secrets, we all have our demons, we all have our wants, we all have our desires, and it's just over time that those walls start crumbling down, and your true intentions and your true past starts getting revealed, which I thought was pretty fun. Overall, guys, it was a really interesting, and I don't say that like a negative, like, oh, that's interesting. No, it's like a genuinely interesting and unique show, and I really like, I really wish more cartoons would dive into this, like, world building that Cartoon Network seems to have gotten so good at doing, because, like, you have this infinite resource of imagination. Like, why not really, like, dive into that? Like, let's get weird with it, let's get creative, let's build upon things but then make them our own. And I definitely give this show props for doing that. It would be a really great show to binge watch. I understand. Wait till October if you want. You stick in the mud. Definitely look into it if you're a Hulu subscriber and if you got 2 hours of free time. You know, we watch it over the course of maybe 3 days. So, you know, even if you don't have 2 hours at a time, like, that's fine. You can, it's created so you can consume it in little bite-sized chunks if you want. Overall, I will give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, just a great show. Let me know if you have any questions about it, or if you've seen it. Let me know if my takes were correct. Like, I'd love to hear your opinions on it and what you thought of the show, too. Let's get a real discourse going on here. So, guys, that should be it for now. I appreciate you watching and bearing with my rambling. I'm kind of in a weird mood today, if you can't tell. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye!